Welcome back! My name is Baller Scuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1986. Today, we're going to talk about Double Dribble. The story of Double Dribble takes us back to Konami. We have talked about Konami several times before. They have been responsible for Track and Field, Gradius, and Castlevania. We last talked about Konami in our video on Jackal. Double Dribble is a basketball game. If you are not familiar with the sport, we talked about basketball in our previous video. In the game, the player plays a 5-man basketball team in a game of basketball. Double Dribble attempts to fully recreate a full basketball game, with full teams on each side. The game starts with a jump ball, and the player must then attempt to outscore their opponent when the 1-minute timer runs out. If the player is ahead at that point, the game will continue and the opponent will get more difficult. If the game is tied or the opponent is leading, the game will end. The game has a joystick and 3 buttons for the player to use. Those buttons are to dribble, pass, and shoot, respectively. While dribbling, the player must repeatedly hit the dribble button while moving the joystick to move the character. Passing is done with the joystick as well, pointing the pass to the teammate the player wants to pass to. Shooting is done by holding the shoot button until the character reaches the top of their jump, then letting go of the button. On defense, the player can attempt to steal the ball with the dribble button, switch players using the pass button, and attempt to block a shot or get a rebound with the shoot button. The game does feature fouls and free throws as well. If the player is good enough, the player can play a full 4 quarters in the game, with each quarter lasting 12 minutes. At the end of each quarter, the player will attempt a challenge stage, which is a 3-point competition. This involves 25 shots, 5 shots at each of 5 different positions around the basket. Each successful shot adds 1 second to the player's time. Konami released Double Dribble to arcades on November 4th, 1986. That is a brief backstory to Double Dribble. With that told, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is Double Dribble. As you can see, copyright 1986 by Konami. I wish I had more information to talk about when it comes to the backstory of the game, but I wasn't able to find anything all that reliable. But this game's going to be difficult. I'm going to throw that out there right now. As you can see, the demo had trouble with it. It also has a weird introduction. I'll just kind of let it play, and then we'll get into the game. The game does force you to dribble. That's obviously something that I am not used to. That is kind of unique to this game, as far as I can tell, at least in games that I have played. But we will see what we can do. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a lot of quarters because I want to make it through a quarter. I want to make it through 12 minutes of the game. So we're going to put in 12 quarters here. There we go. So we should be able to make it all the way through the first period. I don't know why they call it a period. It's a quarter. But we'll make it all the way through that. And then we'll hopefully get to the... we'll put in another quarter just to be on the safe side. We'll make it to the second period. No matter what today. So I can at least try to go through the 3-point contest. Like I said before, this is a difficult game for me. I haven't quite figured out some of the mechanics of what I need to do all the time, but we'll figure it out as we go. I hope, at least. The game's going to start with playing the United States National Anthem. I'm going to go ahead and let it play and not comment on it. Oh, well, we're getting in. They're not going to let me hit the button. We're just going to go in. They're just like, no, you are done. That is enough time. You have dropped in enough quarters. What? Oh, is that what's going? Okay. Weird. Up and down go the same direction. I tried that before. let's get into the game. That was passable. All right, so we're gonna start with the jump ball. There we go. And dribble, 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 dribble. I'm gonna like button mash the dribble. Okay. Nope. All right, I tried to shoot, but no, didn't work. Okay. Wow, he is fast, this point guard. Are you... How'd he get the dunk? Okay. Go. Dribble. Oh no, they stole it. All right. Get the ball. Get the ball. Why is he so fast? All right. No. Are you serious? Stole it right out from under me. Yeah, passing in this game is like one of the most dangerous things because I swear people get in your path all the time. Come on, he's shorter. Like that should be his thing, is 3-pointers. Okay, come on, get. What? They've missed 2 dunks. Pushing. That's okay. That's not exactly how the rules would go, but okay. All right, and hey, it went in. All right, we get a second free throw. Also, people are not lined up properly. Okay. Yes. All right. You just it's a little weird the way the free throw mechanic works. Like I don't know if you guys saw it. There was a little hoop above the hoop. All right. Oh, go! Yeah. All right. We got the defense like sleeping. I'll take it. You guys got to get back on D faster. How? Like there were like 5 people in the way. What? God. Like I said, passing is like one of the hardest things in this game. Like you can see who I should be passing to. Go! Alright, we got it in. It's a tie game. I already would have lost for the record at the 1-minute mark. And now I have like 8 seconds to get 3 points, otherwise I would normally lose. But I have so many quarters in. Go! What? He stole it from me before I shot? What happened? Why is the center faster than my point guard? Go, dribble, dribble. Pass. Pass. See, like, yeah. They just get in the way of my passing all the time. Get over there. And they've missed like, what? How? Go! Get in there! Alright! We're only down by 4. Alright, what? Alright, just dribble. Because passing when I get a rebound is very dangerous. And yes, I do only have the 10 seconds. Go! Nice! He's a short guy. He could only dunk, well, basically like Spud Webb. Alright. Go. Alright. Go again! Alright! How is it getting easier? Pushing? On me? How is it on me? I was dribbling! Go ahead and bank it in, why don't you? Alright, this one's live. Yeah. Alright. Still down by 2. Yeah, there were too many people there. Fade away. Nice. Come on. Give me the ball. Somebody get a steal. Why is he so fast? That was the wrong button. But I got it back, so it was the right button after all. Dunk! And it goes in. Alright, I'm winning! How am I winning? They should be calling me for zone defense here. I am not doing well. What? Where'd that guy come from? I was gonna get a fast break. There was nobody in my way. That is not where the passing lane was. Go for it. Yeah, that's close enough. I should get those points. Okay. What? Oh, he stole it from me? No! What? That... what? Okay. I didn't know I had possession when I shot it. I thought that I was still going for the rebound. No! Stop them! They can't make a dunk to save their lives. Okay, now that guy's in my way. Like the passing lane. What is it? There! Dunk! There's supposed to be like 5 different dunk animations. I feel like each person only gets one. How? Dribble. Okay. Go for it! And then I can dunk? Yeah, now I miss it because there were people in the way. I had it in my hands and he stole it? Is that what you're telling me? What? I was going for the rebound! I'm so confused by this sometimes. Just like, I didn't know that my guy had the ball, so I hit the button to get a rebound. Next thing I know, he's shooting it. Okay, there. Nope, that guy was not in my way when I hit the button. Comeback shot? Alright, well, eventually something went in. It was bound to happen sooner or later, wasn't it? That needs to go in. He was wide open. Alright, just dribble. Why are you so stiff when you dribble? Shoot it. That guy was not even close to where I was when I shot it. Okay, it's, we're still up by 4. If my players can't pass around a guy that's staying right in front of them and guarding them, they don't deserve to be on the floor. Go! Dunk it! Why is this guy my best player? I'm so confused. Just... that's kind of the thing, is that they're so fast that they don't pass. Alright. Not who I meant to pass to, but okay. I passed left! Okay. I got it. Go for it. What happened there? Okay. Yeah, he's open. Go for it. Just go! Alright! I would never recommend actually dunking that way, but you can. You could. I should say that, because I haven't let it happen. You can easily double dribble in this game. I'm not going to show it off, but what you do is basically you stop hitting the button to dribble, and then you start again. And that's how you double dribble. Why? How is that a shot that you can make? I'm still up by 2. I think backcourt violations are still a thing in this game. What do you mean air ball? That should have been a layup. How? Go. And another dunk. This one goes in. Okay. I'm up by 4 still. What do you mean good? How did he even, like, do the shot? Like, it's like the physics on that aren't right. Nah, figured. Like, threes are, like, not good in this game. Okay. No, because somebody's in the way there. Alright. Go for the windmill dunk. Got it. Yeah, I would never recommend trying to do a windmill dunk in a game when there's a whole bunch of people standing there, but what do I know? I can't dunk. And trust me, I've tried. What? Yeah. Downtown? That's not... You guys aren't using the right terminology here. What? So if the guy's glowing, he can just steal it from me by standing next to me? Go! What? Yeah, it should have been a dunk from the beginning. Also, how do you airball it to yourself? That's just passing to yourself, which is traveling. And illegal. Okay, well, sure. I'll take it. I don't need it to be... I don't need the thing to show it was a dunk. Okay, dribble. Yep, get... Why aren't you guys in better positions? That should not have happened. Once again, like, they pick up... They, like, double their speed as soon as they're in the air. Yeah, alright. The computer's starting to get noticeably harder now. Before, I would argue that they weren't. Get it! Go! Go! Just keep away from the shining guy. What? Grant, I'm not holding the ball, like holding the button long enough. They're up. I was leading for so long. What? Alright, I passed to myself. Don't worry about it. Once again, that's a thing that you can do. Alright, dunk and we're tied. Come on. Ha! Go. Pass. Like, he just stands next to me and gets a steal. I'm even hitting the dribble button to try to steal, and I can't do it. I didn't even know I had it, and he stole it from me. Also, downtown usually means a three-pointer. Because it's from further away. There we go. Alright, tied again. Just need to get, like, a steal or a rebound, like, stop him. If you... What? That's not who I meant to pass to, but sure. Alright, go for it! How? Why? It's one of the most embarrassing things in basketball to miss a wide open dunk. And it happens like half the time. Excuse me? Charging an offensive foul after I had just stolen it? Is it possible to miss a free throw? Like, what is going on? We only got 3 seconds left in the half. All right. No, in the first All right, so that's the end of the first period, right? Not the half. First period. All right, challenging stage. Why can't you do that in the game? Why is the basket, like, not on the screen? What, I'm good at that part of it? Alright, second period start. Alright, so once we get through this, we're going to be done. Yeah, it's a throw-in. I should be getting it because I'm losing. Excuse me? Like, people don't even make that in today's NBA, and people in today's NBAs don't give a shit. What? Yeah, it's too difficult for me now. No! What? Like, is part of the difficulty that my players don't do what they're supposed to anymore? I'm down by 7. Give me a break. It's not a comeback shot. Alright, get over there. Alright, I can't make threes. Okay. Fine. Like, I'll just keep going for threes now that I know my guy can make it. How did it go through 3 people on a single rebound? That's not who I told you to pass it to, and you know it. As long as I time it right, I can make it. Alright, no! That was going to do it for me. Alright, we've lost. That is the game. They don't give you like 10 seconds either. If you don't have the quarter in, you're done. That is it. Alright, so I got second. That is not good. My free throw percentage was perfect. I got 12 rebounds, 1 assist, because that didn't seem to be the way to get stuff done, and 2 personal fouls, so that's not bad. One of them was a charge that I disagreed with entirely, but what do I know? Alright, so that is the gameplay. That is my real birthday, and, well, yeah, it's American, remember? Alright. Free throws is me. Rebounds is me. Not assists. Personal fouls, are they going to give it to me? Alright, we're tied, so that makes sense. Alright, so that is the game played, and with the gameplay, it's time to talk about how it holds up today. Playing the game today, I definitely had fun playing Double Dribble. Double Dribble's a fun game. There are a lot of caveats to that, but let's go ahead and start with the positive things. Pretty much the first thing is that it felt like I was playing basketball. It felt like I was playing a full 5-on-5 basketball game. And that's not something that video games had really done to this point. So that's definitely a positive aspect of it. It felt like I was in control most of the time. I do have to say most of the time, but that is something that's not easy to do with that many sprites on the screen, for me to feel like I am controlling the character that I'm trying to control, all that kind of stuff. It felt good. Sometimes. There were definitely other parts where it didn't, but we'll get into that later. I think the graphics are pretty good. Granted, we have seen better graphics in arcade games by this point, especially from like Sega and Outrun and, you know, kind of the Yu Suzuki line of games. But considering how many things need to be tracked by the board, by the computer, The graphics, I think, are good. The players look like players. I would love more detail on them, but there's really only so much that an arcade board at this time could handle. And the fact that there were so many sprites meant that you kind of had to dial it back on the detail. The fact that there are little cutscenes for the dunking, little takeaway scenes where you could see somebody attempt to dunk. That is nice. I'm not sure why it didn't always result in points, and sometimes it just hit the rim and bounced off. I'm not sure, but at least they had those little scenes. I think the music was pretty good. I would say that the sound was probably hit and miss. There were some aspects of it that I liked, some that I didn't. But I think it really did sound like I was watching a real basketball game. Or at least listening to a basketball game. So graphics, sound, and at least the concept behind the gameplay, I think was pretty good. With that said, there are definitely some negative aspects of the game as well. But overall, I would say that it was overall a positive experience. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I put in over $3 worth of quarters to start. That's not something that you would have done in most games in the arcade at the time. So I do have to knock it for that. Speaking of that as well, number one, you have to be ahead every minute at the even minute marks. You have to be winning. Otherwise, you have to start over. I don't like that. The fact that they didn't give you like 10 seconds to put in another quarter so you can continue. I didn't like that. Also, and I didn't talk about this in the game, you might have noticed, I was ahead for, I think, a good like half of the first quarter. Like half of the time I was ahead, and then they kind of came back at the end when the game ramped up the difficulty. They didn't give me like credit for that, so to speak. I talked about that before, that if you were ahead, the game would continue going. That did not happen that doesn't happen if you put in a lot of quarters to start. They just kind of discount that entirely. And I don't think that's fair. So you kind of have to keep an eye on the clock, and if you're losing, drop in a quarter to keep going. Otherwise, you're losing money kind of either way. So that's definitely a knock against it, I would say. But overall, I think that the gameplay suffered a bit from them struggling with kind of the complicated nature of a basketball game. It's a very free-flowing sport. There's not necessarily set things that you can do, such as like a baseball game or a football game, where you can kind of stop everything. Okay, everybody get in position, and this happens, so this is what the computer does. Basketball, much like other sports like soccer, is very free-flowing. Everything's just kind of constantly moving. And so it was difficult to keep track of that as a player, kind of based on how the sprites looked and what the game's mechanics did. Overall, the passing was very difficult for me. That's why I didn't get a lot of assists, simply because I was too scared to pass, because I never knew when an opponent was, according to the computer, in the path of my pass. So that would just result in an instant steal, which you never saw the opponent do. It was just me giving away the ball all the time because I was trying to pass it. The passing mechanic also didn't quite work the way that I wanted, right? You point at a player you want to pass to with the joystick, and then you hit the pass button. And especially towards the end, sometimes it just didn't happen, and sometimes my player just kind of let go of the ball, and we called it a pass. There were definitely a lot of times where it felt like I was out of control, especially like during rebounds, where I think we talked about a couple times where one person would grab a rebound, and before they even hit the ground, before you have a chance to do anything, the opposing team steals that rebound. And I think once a third person stole it from the second person. Like, it was so weird to watch that happen. So that was weird. When it came to the shooting mechanic, for the most part, like I like the idea of, holding the button down and then letting go at the peak. But it was difficult to gauge whether I was going to get the cutscene for the dunk or not. And sometimes I would just kind of tap the button, assuming that's going to be a dunk. And next thing I know, I airball a layup. And then 3 points, like apparently just my shortest guy on the team is really good at 3-pointers, because once I got to the 3-point kind of challenge, I guess they called it, I was just knocking them down. Like, I was doing better than the real life NBA when it comes to the 3-point contest. So it was a little weird. And then the computer being able to just kind of angle where they would jump and suddenly just like double, triple their speed, and then like hang in the air and then shoot. And then they would make it like half the time, quarter of the time. And more than like 3/4 of the time. It felt like more often than not. And there was just nothing I could do to stop that. There's definitely a few of those where it just kind of felt like there was nothing I could do to stop the computer from winning, or from stealing the ball from me, or intercepting a pass, or anything like that. So there's definitely work that needs to be done for my liking when it comes to controls and kind of the gameplay. There were definitely parts of it that didn't feel like basketball. There was a bit of misunderstanding about the rules, right? A charging foul does not result in 2 free throws. Charge, I didn't talk about in the last video, but it's when the offensive player basically runs into a defensive player while the defensive player is not moving, or has kind of set feet, or is guarding a zone, and the offensive player is clearly in the wrong, just bulldozing the guy over, right? It's a vague definition. A lot of people argue about charging fouls, but that's the general idea, is that the offensive player just rams the defensive player. I don't see how I did that, but whatever. And that doesn't result in free throws. That results in a throw in. And then, there were a couple other things, but the big thing for me, and I don't know if I've addressed it yet. I don't think I have. The big thing for me is the actual dribbling. I shouldn't have to dribble. I shouldn't have to hit a button to dribble, I should say. I understand mechanically that is how basketball works, but as somebody that has played basketball quite a bit, you start getting to the point that you're not even thinking about dribbling. Like, you just hit the ball and it's just kind of reflexive. Like, you just dribble. You don't think about dribbling. You're thinking about, calling a play, or who to pass to, or what kind of move you want to make. You're not thinking about actually bouncing the ball. So for me to have to do that in the game was a little weird. And I know that other versions of the game that we will talk about later remove that mechanic, and that is a feature that I wish was present in this game. But we're just talking about this version of the game, right? In this version, you have to dribble, and I don't like that. So overall, it's a very interesting game. I'm happy that I got to play the original version. Would I recommend this to a modern audience? Overall, the answer is no. I think there are much better basketball games out there now, but this is groundbreaking for the time, so it's important to look at, but it's not necessarily going to be a lot of fun for players today. It will be kind of difficult to get over the initial learning curve of not basketball, but how this particular video game plays. And anytime that happens, it's always a little weird to recommend it to someone new. So overall, I think this is a game that is kind of better as graphics and like as a video than it is as a game for you to play, unless you are interested in particular with the history of basketball video games. Then this might have something for you, and you can kind of learn the mechanics of how it works. But for a modern audience, there are better basketball games, even from a couple years from now. There are better iterations than this game, but it was fun for me while it lasted. And that's my modern take on the game. When the game was released, the game would be popular, especially in the United States. The game would be popular enough to inspire ports and sequels. We will keep an eye on these as we continue. As for Konami, with another success on their hands, Konami would continue to be a dominant force in the video game industry. We will hear from Konami again as we continue. That will do it for the story of Double Dribble for now. My name is Baller Scuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we take cover.